Hello everyone, welcome to mvpvishwakosha. Today we are discussing 9th August 2025 current affairs. In that first point, that is about India-US trade and defense tension. Okay, recently, right, that is steep tariff imposed by Trump, right? So that the US doubled its tariff on Indian goods, so that raising them to 50%. Okay, so that is India's continued purchase of Russian oil and defense equipment. So in this, that some pause in negotiations that President Trump declared no further trade talks with India until tariff issues are resolved. So for that, India's defensive strategy that India refused to shoot back with immediate retaliatory tariff hike, choosing instead to seek a balanced trade deal and dialogue. Okay, it formally notified the WTO about its plan to suspend concession on certain US products, a move enabled under Article 12.5 of the World Trade Organization safeguard agreements. Okay, and also India also revised its proposal for retaliatory duties to align with the higher US tariffs and ensure equivalence in response. Okay, in this also main thing is a defense deal to hold claims and in that some media reports that some outlet reported that India had halted negotiations on that is a dollar 3.6 billion aircraft purchase from the US with the defense minister Washington visit reported it is also cancelled. So all these actually official denials that Indian Ministry of Defense dismissed those claims as false and fabricated, so asserting that defense procurement talks continue as per established process. So okay, this is very important that for exam perspective, that is the WTO mechanism such as Article 12.5 of the agreement on safeguards and India's use of WTO dispute settlement rule, all that important. And for mains perspective, that foreign policy and diplomacy, trade strategy, defense policy and federal political dynamics, all this very important. Okay, that is about recent news about India US. Okay, next news that is about recent new lichen new species that is in Western Ghats. Okay, that is Allographa ephesoradica. Okay, that is a discovery identified recently by researchers at the MACS Agarkar Research Institute, Pune. Okay, that Allographa ephesoradica is a newly described crustacean lichen from the Western Ghats. Okay, it is one of India's key biodiversity hotspot, right? And also it's important because this is the first Allographa species in India that confirmed through molecular DNA data, and also some of the biodiversity impact with this find India now records 53 Allographa species, and the Western Ghats alone has 22 of them. So that's why Western Ghats is very important. Ecological perspective, it is important. Okay, some of the key characteristics in that morphology, that crustacean, that is crust-like loss with the effuse sorodia, that is powdery reproductive granules spread across the surface, and some of the chemical trait in that is contains nostric acid, a rare secondary compound in its genus, and also that is photobionate, that is algal partner identified in that, and also molecular insight, all that DNA marks are used. Okay, that is very important. That lichens and its symbiotic organisms combining fungi and algae, right? So all that, and understanding that significance of biodiversity hotspots about Western Ghats, all that important, and also in environment and biodiversity, that symbiosis and ecological functions and integrative taxonomy and policy and research very important. Okay, that is about recent news of species in Western Ghats. Next news that is about MS Swaminathan Centenary International Conference, by that is featuring Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the event. So that Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the MS Swaminathan Centenary International Conference in New Delhi. Okay, that marking the 100th birth anniversary of Professor MS Swaminathan, and architect of India's Green Revolution. Okay, you should know about it is India's Green Revolution and all that, all the two phases and all. Okay, and also additional in that is release of commemorative a special 100 rupees coin and centenary stamp honoring Swaminathan were unveiled, and also conference. Some theme is to Evergreen Revolution, the pathway to biohappiness, that reflects his lifelong commitment to sustainable agriculture and food security, and also some launch of MS Swaminathan Award for food and peace. Okay, and also emphasis on legacy and future vision in his address. Modi described Swaminathan as a transformative visionary, credited with turning science into a public service and paving a roadmap for nutritional and climate resilient agriculture. And also tribute by the dignitaries and all, that agriculture ministry and all. For exam perspective, that remember that about that conference and all, that evergreen theme. Okay, evergreen revolution, the pathway to biohappiness. Okay, and also the commemorative of 100 rupee coin and stamp and award, and also that Professor MS Swaminathan as called as the father of India's green revolution, and also he honored with the Bharat Ratna, okay, in 2024. Okay, in the agriculture, environmental, science and technology perspective, it is very important. And also that legacy of Swaminathan is model of integrating science, policy and grassroots change. And also evergreen revolution concept, that is very important. You should go through that topic. And also public policy relevance, all that very important. Okay, that is about MS Swaminathan, Senator conference and all. Okay, next news that is about India-Russia, that is a phone call discussion. Okay, that is Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Putin. Okay, that is key strategic, that is they use it, that is special and privileged strategic partnership that will signify the elevated India-Russia ties, and also that is in this country that US has slapped 50% tariff on India, right, for buying Russian oil. So in this, it is very important. That is pressure on India's foreign policy and decision and all. Okay, and what are the impact from that? Okay, and also that what the development in the Ukraine conflict. That are the topics what they discussed, and also impact of US tariff targeting India's Russian oil trade. And also they discussed about bilateral ties under the special and privileged strategic partnership, and also the extended Putin to visit India later this year for the 23rd annual summit. Okay, these four topics are very important: the development in the Ukraine conflict, and impact of US tariffs targeting India's Russia oil trade, and bilateral ties under the special and privileged strategic partnership, and invitation extended to Putin to visit India later this year for the 23rd annual summit. All that are very important. Okay, then in foreign policy and strategic autonomy, that is India prioritize diplomacy and strategic balancing, strengthening ties with Russia while simultaneously managing pressure from the USA, and also geopolitical dynamics and international diplomacy. It is very important. Okay, that is about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's that phone call with President Putin. Next point that is about she leads two program. Okay, it is an initiative that actually launched on August 2025. That is Union Minister of Women and Child Development Annapurna Devi inaugurated the second edition of the She Leads that's two program in New Delhi. It's a flagship capacity building initiative by UN Women India. Actually, main aim of this is to the workshop is intended to enhance political leadership competency among the grassroots women leaders, elected representative and administrators from across India. So the program follows the landmarks of Women Reservation Act 2023. Okay, that Women Reservation Act is very important and also mandate 33% reservation for women in Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly. Currently, women has holds only 14% of seats in the 18th Lok Sabha, underlying the considerable representation gap. Okay, that participant informed that over 260 applications received from 22 states, more than double compared to the first edition. And also 36 participants were shortlisted based on the experience and potential. And also the two-day workshop included interactive sessions with MPs, policy experts and media strategists covering them like electoral campaigns and governance framework, and also narrative building and effective media engagement. Okay. This support and significance by the Norway support the initiative, and also Annapurna Devi underscored the women's leadership is pivotal for a Viksit Bharat and for India's development journey towards 2030 Sustainable Development Goals and Agenda 2040. Okay, For exam perspective, it is that program is very important. She leads two program and organizers, that is UN Women India, okay, with the support from Norway and all. Okay, and it's a key objective, that is capacity building for women's leaders, and also that is current situation, that is only 14% local Sabha seats are held. Okay, and also that 33% mandated reservation. Okay, that is very important. That gender and governance, capacity building, international and national synergy, all that topic, it is very important. Next news, that is about income tax bill 2025 withdrawal. Okay, that is recent that the government officially withdraw the income tax bill 2025. Okay, which had been introduced in the Lok Sabha in February 13, 2025 to replace the Income Tax Act 1961. So because this moves comes after a select committee chaired by MP Bajit Panda submitted its report with the 285 recommendation, okay, on July 16. So which is a tabled in Lok Sabha. So a revised version of the bill incorporating key panel suggestions. So such a greater clarity for corporates and charitable trusts, easing compliance and additional taxpayers relief, and also it is slated to be introduced on August that's 11, 2025. So why it is important? Because that introduction of that bill, okay, and also that that report, panel report, and withdrawal, and again revised version will come. No? So all that perspective, it is very important. For exam perspective, that is you should know about that Income Tax Act 1961, and also main thing that aim is to simplify tax laws and reduce litigations and enhance clarify through taxpayer friendly reforms. Okay. For mains perspective, it is very important that demonstrate legislative process, how bills go through scrutiny, all that committee recommendations, revisions, and responsive governance. And also highlight the focus of tax reforms, that is fairness, simplicity, and empowering MSME in the and the middle classes. Okay, that is about recent news. Okay, that is Income Tax Bill 2025 to replace Income Tax Act 1961. Okay, next news that is about Awaza Program of Action 2024-2034 adopted at the third UN conference on landlocked developing countries. Okay, that is the Awaza Program of Action. A strategic roadmap was adopted by the UN General Assembly. Okay, that is on 24th December 2024, wide resolution. So, as the successor of that Vienna Program Action. So it was that landlocked developing countries. Okay, so in that third UN conference on landlocked developing countries, that is held in August 5, 8, 25 to 8, 2025 in Awaza in Turkmenistan. Okay, under the theme driving progress through partnership. Okay, some of the key features in this 2024-2034, it will build challenging identifies all the LLDs. There's such a high trade cost, limited diversification, and poor connectivity, and also lays out a focused strategy aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, some main core objective is to accelerate the Sustainable Development Goal progress, and also promote structural transformation and enhance connectivity, and also bolster climate resilience and disaster preparedness, and mobilize international support and all. Okay, in this implementation approach, that result framework and space perspective to focus area include digital transformation, sustainable energy access, and also inclusive growth and empowering that is SMEs, and also gender equality and all. Okay, that strategic outcome also highlighted from seeing LLDs as a disadvantaged to an actors in global economy and also regional cooperation platforms. Okay, all that perspective, it is very important that was a program of action and all. Okay, that is about recent news. Was a program of action 2024-2034. Okay. Next news that is about recent news, that is Armenia-Azerbaijan peace deal. Okay, in the exam perspective, international relation, this topic is very important. That the US brokered a peace framework between Armenia and Azerbaijan. At the White House, Armenia's PM Nikol Pashinyan and Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev signed a US brokered peace declaration. Okay, hosted by President Donald Trump. That is a central element of a TRIPP corridor, and also the Trump route for international peace and prosperity. and also connecting Azerbaijan to its exclusive Nakhchivan through southern Armenia. And also the US secured 99-year development rights and will facilitate infrastructure such as rail, pipelines, and fiber optics. So both the nations agreed dissolve the OSC-MINC group, a long-standing mediation mechanism, and also additional deals to focus on energy, trade, AI, and lifting military cooperation restrictions with Azerbaijan. Okay, very important for exam perspective. This is all that treaty and all. US brokered the peace declaration and also corridor name like Trump route for international peace and prosperity. And also dissolution of Minsk group, US strategic role and all. Okay, in this international relation and diplomacy and security and strategic perspective, it is very important. That is about recent US brokered a peace declaration between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Okay. Next news that is about RBI grants AU Small Finance Bank universal banking license. Okay, recent that Reserve Bank of India has granted AU Small Finance Bank. Okay, the status of universal bank. This bank this makes AU Small Finance Bank the first small finance bank to transition to a universal bank and the first such transition in over a decade. Okay, that founded in 1996 and also converted to Small Finance Bank in 2017, headquartered Jaipur, Rajasthan, and founded by Sanjay Agarwal. Special focus to serving unbanked and underbanked in rural, semi-urban India. So here, what is universal bank? Means a full-service commercial bank that offers deposits, loans, insurance, investment products, and also foreign exchange and treasury operations. So it is a wider operational scope compared to the small finance banks or payment banks. So here the scope that is service will be area will be more. And also what is small finance bank means introduced by RBI to promote financial inclusion. The primary mandate is to provide credit to small business farmers, MSMEs, low income groups to accept deposits like any regular bank. Okay, example AU that Equitas Small Finance Bank, Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, and okay. So that is some condition for transition from small finance bank to universal bank. As per RBI guidelines, that small finance bank may apply to become a universal bank after that is operational history. That actually requirement is minimum that is 5 years as small finance bank, and financial that soundness is a strong capital, profitability, and asset quality, and also compliance adherence to all regulatory requirements. Okay, very important that significance of development for AU Small Finance Bank, greater freedom to expand products and service and can attract more institutional investors, right? And also for assess a wider financial market, and also for Indian banking also encouraging the small finance bank and also financial inclusion leading to mainstream assets and also RBI's openness. And okay, that is about recent news about AU Small Finance Bank. Next, last news that is about recent news that is Cheetah helicopter. That is Cheetah and Chetak helicopter. That is a defense modernization accelerator. That Ministry of Defense has issued a request for information that 200 light reconnaissance and surveillance helicopter, of which 120 units are for the Army and 80 from the Air Force. This moves aim to phase out aging Cheetah and Chetak fleets. Okay, because safety concern and obsolescence that built in 1960s, this helicopter lack modern avionics and safety mechanism and have recorded high crash rate. So drawing comparison with the notorious MiG-21 jets also, and also phase out timeline that the induction of HAL's light utility helicopter are underway, but given production limit approximately 30-35 units annually. So this complete replacement will take up to 10 to 12 years, with the phasing starting around 2027. Okay, all this very important that 200 light helicopters, all that, and Cheetah and Chetak helicopter. Okay, that defense modernization and indigenization era and procurement challenge and audit, all that very important. Okay, all that case study in phased modernization and safety versus legacy struggle and also strategic policy intervention, very important. Okay, that is about recent news about Cheetah and Chetak helicopters in Indian Army. Okay, that is about 9th August 2025 current affairs. Thank you. Support me for further videos so that I can analyze all the topics required for UPSC and all competitive exams. Thank you.